Welcome you all to the session on developing an end view of DC machine using CAD tool. So in the previous session we discussed about constructional features of a DC machine, and along with that we also discussed about different views of major parts of an electrical machines in order to draw an end view and as well as an elevation of a DC machine. So in this session we are going to discuss how to draw an end view of DC machine using a CAD tool. So for that I am here with an example. In this exercise we need to draw the end view of the DC generator with the following data. The rating is 10 kilowatt 1200 rpm and it is a 4-pole machine. The shaft radius is given, it is 35 mm. So along with the exercise problem I have a diagram which will be very helpful to recall the end view of a DC machine. So the shaft radius, this is nothing but your shaft. The radius of the shaft is given, it is 35 mm, and the armature radius is given, it is 110 mm. So this is what the armature, and the radius of this armature is 110 mm. Inner radius of the yoke is 168. So this is the inner radius and this will be the outer radius. It is also given, it is 195 mm, and the pole width is 65 mm, the main pole or the field poles. So the width of the pole is 65 mm, and the pole height including the pole shoe, this is called a pole shoe. So from here to here the pole height is 56 mm, it is given, and ratio of pole arc to pole pitch is 2/3, and there is a steel rod in the main pole which is having a dimension of 40 mm cross 40 mm. It means we are supposed to have one steel rod here at the center of the main poles which is having a dimension of 40 mm and 40, and the inner pole, sorry, it is interpole dimension. So interpole dimension, it means there will be a poles between the main poles, that is what interpole, which is having a dimension of 8 into cross 22 mm, and there are some armature slots and dimension of each slot is 4 cross 22. It means the width of the slot is 4 mm and the depth is 22 mm, and we will be having 32 number of armature slots, and there are some ventilating holes, or else we can also call it as cooling ducts in the armature. There are 6 numbers and each having a dia of 10 mm, and axial height is 200 mm. Axial height in the sense the center of the shaft from the center to the base, this is nothing but your axial height. So this is what 200 mm it is given. So in this exercise we need to develop, or we need to draw the end view of the DC generator using a CAD tool. So before going with an dealing with an CAD tool, we should be ready with some freehand sketches. So let me go with this poles first. Let me go with the poles in detail. So they have given that the pole width is 65 mm. Here you can see the pole width, from here to here it is 65 mm, and the pole height including pole shoe it is 56 mm. Clear? And there should be a central steel rod at the center, so that is nothing but 40 mm and then 40 mm width and then the length. Okay, and the angle between from here to here it should be 60 degree. From here to here it should be 60 degree. It means the pole shoe should cover a 60 degree of angle width. So these are the details we should know in order to develop or in order to draw an end view of DC generator. This is regarding main pole. And coming to the interpoles, you can see this is the interpole. Okay, this is the interpole. So these two are the winding, interpole winding, and the dimension was given, the width was 20 and the height is 52 mm. This is what, okay, this is about interpole. And coming to the armature slots, there are 32 number of slots. So here you can see the single slot here, the width of the slot is 4 mm and the depth of the slot is 22 mm. Clear? And now here you can see the overall end view of a DC generator. Now what we are going to do is we are going to discuss how to draw this end view of a DC generator using a CAD tool. Okay, here we will be having field windings, these are the interpole windings. Now let us see how to draw this using a CAD tool. now I am ready with basic settings. So first, what I'm going to do is, let me draw the outer yoke and then the inner yoke of the DC generator. So the outer yoke dia, it was given, it is 195 mm, clear. And let me write one more circle by taking a same point as a center. Okay, and the inner yoke radius is 168. So this is the outer yoke and this is the inner yoke. And what is the pole height they have given? 56, right? So the pole should be located below this yoke, clear. So it means the pole height is 56 mm, therefore I will be going with an offset. Okay, offset, and offset distance should be equals to pole height, that is 56, and from here to here it is 56. As I already said, the pole height is given, it is 56 mm, that is including pole shoe. So let me consider there is among 56, the 10 mm is the height for the pole shoe. So again I will be going with an offset, the distance is 10 mm, and from here to here it is 10. So let me write the axis, central axis, and then the vertical axis. Okay, what is the pole width? The pole width is 65 mm. So from the vertical axis it should be 65 divided by 2, right? 65 divided by 2 is nothing but 32.5 and then 32.5. Let me go with an offset. So the distance is 32.5. So what I am doing is I am majorly concentrating on the main pole now. Okay, clear. And as I already said, the pole shoe will cover 60 degree of the angle, right? So let me take a line here from the center, draw a line. So at the rate of 200 is the length, and I will be going to fix the angle. 60 means from 90 it should move towards this side 30, and for this side also 30. From this origin it should be 60, right? 90 minus 30. So I will be fixing the angle. This is the 60, and 90 plus 30 it will be, this is the center, at 200 at an angle of 120. Okay, now let me select all this, go for trim. I don't want these lines. This is the yoke portion, so there should be no lines between the yoke. So I don't want the inclined line here also. Okay, this is the pole shoe width from here to here. And the pole will appear from here to here, so no line is required in this portion. So just now I have trimmed out all the unwanted portions. Now you can see this is the pole, and you can also measure. So now the height of the pole will be exactly 56 mm, and they also given that there is there should be a central rod at the main pole which is having a dimension of 40 cross 40 mm. So let me take this rectangle, and this is the first point I will be fixing, and here I will be selecting the dimensions instead of specifying the other corner. In the dimension it is asking the length, the 40, and the width is also 40 mm. So okay, this is the central rod, and I will be moving this. Okay, and let me write some riveting holes at the main pole. Let me have, there will be having 4 riveting holes, which is having a radius of 4. Randomly I have taken. So let us go with copy and paste in order to have multiple. Okay, now we have a 4 riveting holes, so each having a 4 mm dia. You can take another value also, since it is not given. So I should have a field windings also here, but the field winding data is not given. let me select an appropriate field winding data. So for that, let me turn off this O snap and then O track, so that there will be no disturbance. And go for mirroring to have it on another side. So now this is what the field winding and then the field pole. And there is an interpole between the main poles. The interpole should be located exactly at an angle of 45 degrees. So what I am doing, from this point I will be writing a reference line at an angle of 45 degree. Okay, let me extend this line up to the circle. Okay, and the width of the interpole dimension, the width is 20 mm. It means I should go with an offset. So offset distance should be 10 mm with respect to this 45 degree inclined line. 10 and then 10. Okay, now take a line and let me draw a line from this point to this point. Okay, and go for offset. What is the depth of the interpole is given? I mean the height of the interpole. It is 52 mm. 52. Now here you can select this, so it will ask you to select whether you are going to select circle or line, but here I am going to select a line. If you take circle, again you should go for trim. That's why I have written a line here. So this is the line and it should be located this side. Clear? Now go for trimming, and also no need of this line. Okay, and again draw two more riveting holes here, which is having 4 of mm radius. Okay, and I should write interpole windings around this interpole. So for that, you can turn off this O snap and an O track. And paste it. So this is the interpole. Now let me go for hatching thus the field windings. Pick internal point. Okay, let me use the same hatching pattern for interpole winding also. So now I hatched both the main pole and then the interpole windings. Let me hatch this rectangular pole also, central rod also, with a different hatching pattern. This is the central rod. Okay, now select all this along with the hatching. So after selecting both the main pole and then the field pole, let me go with an polar array. So here you select a polar array, add the center point. The center point, instead of giving the x and then y coordinate, I will be pick center point. So the center of the yoke is nothing but the center for the polar array. And how many poles we have in this problem? We'll be having 4 poles, so that's why the total number of items should be 4, and obviously the number of interpoles is also equals to the number of poles. Okay, now this is what the end view of the main and then interpoles. Okay, now after this I should go with an armature slot dimension. So what is the armature radius is given here. So the armature radius is 110 mm. So let me draw that circle from the same point by taking same point as a center. So radius is 110 mm. Okay, so here you can see a small gap between the pole and then the armature. This is nothing but your air gap. Clear? And how many slots we have actually here? How many slots we have? We will be having 32 slots. So a full circle, in this circle I need to accommodate 32 slots. It means 360 divided by 32, it will give us 11.25. It means each slot along with the tooth should cover 11.25 degree. Clear? So I will be repeating it. So this is a circle. So in this circle I need to draw 32 slots. It means each slot along with the teeth should cover 11.25 degree. Then only the 32 slots will equally distributed. It will be equally distributed throughout the circle. Okay, so the angle is what? 11.25. So before that, what is the width of the armature slot? It is 4 cross 22, right? The width is 4. It means, let me go with an offset. Offset distance is, the total width is 4. From this vertical I will be giving 2. Okay, this is the reference. From here to here it is 2 mm, and from here to here it is also 2 mm. Clear? So let me go with an offset, trim, to remove the unwanted portion. These are the portions are not required. And let me draw a line here from this point to this point. So, and again I will go with an offset, and the offset distance is nothing but the depth, the height of the armature slot, or depth of the armature slot. It is 22. And from here I would be selecting line here, and it should be located this side. Okay, Control A, and then again trim. Okay, this is what a single slot. Still it is not yet finished. Okay, so as I already said, the slot along with the tooth should cover 11.25 degree. It means from this, with respect to this vertical axis, it has to move 5.625 degree towards left and 5.625 degree towards right. Clear? So 5.625, it means 90 minus 5.625 is what? 84 point. So I will be doing that. Take a line. This will be the first point. Okay, and I will be 110 will be the length of the line, and the angle is 84.375. How I got this 84.375? It is nothing but 90 minus 5.675. Clear? So another one is 90 plus 5.625. 90 plus 5.625. It means obviously it is 95.625. So take a line from this point. Now go for Control A and then trim. So in this, let me trim out this armature radius circle. Okay, and here the slot should be open here. Okay, now you can see this is the slot, and this is this portion or tooth portion. So let me select this slot along with the teeth. So how many slots we have? We'll be having 32 slots, right? So for that, again I will be going with that polar array. This will be the center. And how many slots? 32. It means total number of items should be 32. Now you can see this armature part. Clear? And no need of this line now, just I will be taking off. Okay, and there are some ventilating holes in the armature core. The ventilating holes is nothing but a cooling duct. There are 6 numbers, and each is having a 10 mm dia. So let me take a circle, and dia itself is 10 mm, not radius, dia. Okay, and this should be a 6 numbers. I will be going with polar array again. There are 6 ventilating holes. Okay, this is what 6 ventilating holes. So again I will be having a shaft. The shaft radius is also given, it is 35 mm, by taking same point as the center, and the radius is 35. This is what your shaft. Okay, and let me hatch the yoke portion with a different hatching pattern. So this is the yoke portion. Okay, And as I already said, there is one more data, axial height. Axial height is 20. It means from the center of the diagram to the base it should be 200 mm. So for that I have an horizontal axis here. I will go with an offset, and the axial height is given, it is 200 mm. Enter. This is the reference. From here to here it should be 200 mm, and take a line. Just give a finishing touch for the base. Okay, now you can see this is what the end view of a DC generator. So now I'll be going to show the dimensions. So the dimension, linear dimensions, this is nothing but your axial height. Here you can see it is 200 mm, and let me mark the pole width, it is 65 mm. Okay, and the pole height from this point to this point, it is 56, as I already said, including pole shoe. Okay, and then from ear to ear it is 20 mm, that is interpole height. Likewise you can show all the dimensions, and I will be showing the radius of outer yoke, inner yoke, and the radius of the pole arc. Radius of the armature, and then radius of the shaft, and this is the radius of ventilating holes. Okay, and now this is what your end view of a DC generator. Thank you.